Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back. Another episode of Be You podcast, part of Supermom's Magic Circle. And today we have an amazing guest. She supports moms, she helps moms in business. She's also a gorgeous woman. You will see her. She's so beautiful and she's so
Yeah.
great in everything she does. Christine, we'll come to you in a second. Before we go and meet my special guest, let me say that I have one slot available left. If you feel ready to scale your business, if you feel that you are done coping other strategies, you feel like you don't want to carry on doing a mini franchise, you actually want to create your own business that's going to work for you and your family, send me a flyer. And then I know that you are ready. Every month I offer one or two slots each month for free. So pick yours, send me that flyer, and let's make some magic in your business. Now, let me introduce you to this beautiful, gorgeous woman. She's incredible. Kristen is a mindset and performance coach for ambitious moms and ambitious women who are juggling motherhood and entrepreneurship. She works very closely with the client. She really understands their needs and she really helps them to build the confidence, to have an aligned routine, and to really create that business that feels like home and without any hustle. So she's really, really, really careful with their businesses and how they make that balance between work and family. And she's all about getting more clarity, really live 100% and be you. So this is Christine Needles. Let's say hello to her. Hi.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. And thank you for that beautiful introduction. I appreciate it.
You're more than welcome. I'm so excited. Every single time when I speak with you, I feel like my word is gets more fire in it. Like I love it. Your smile is just amazing and everything you do. I know you're so passionate about everything you do. Tell us a bit about you, who Christine is, and
Yes.
tell us your story.
Yeah, absolutely. So I did not plan to become an entrepreneur and start balanced in business, but essentially what happened was I became a single mom. And in that moment, I needed to find a way to show up for myself and for my son and provide for us. And so I started consulting. I started gravitating toward the online business space, supporting female entrepreneurs specifically in business. And my background is in marketing and operations. So I've got over a decade of marketing experience, and I started supporting them and growing their businesses and helping them scale. And in finding this balance, right, juggling how I'm showing up for myself, how I'm showing up for my son, how I'm managing household tasks, how I'm growing a business, how I'm supporting my clients. You're essentially spinning, doing all the things. And I found that these CEOs are doing the exact same thing. We're all trying to just give everything our absolute best. And in doing this, I started coaching these women, learning more about them and their stories. And like that is what really set my heart on fire, right? It was like, how do I help you find the balance? Because to me, balance is like, it's not so much about perfect time management, right? But it's really about energy management and finding a way to make sure that you're living your life in a way that allows you to show up at your best for yourself, for your kids, for your business. And so it starts with really pouring into yourself first. And that's the kind of the lesson I had to learn the hard way as I was burning out doing all of these things. It's how do I fill myself up first? What are my non-negotiables? Where am I maybe holding myself back without realizing it? And then the same for these other mamas trying to do all the things. And so this is how we got here. This is how I became a mindset performance coach. It's like I struggled with the anxiety, I struggled with the self-doubt, the overachieving, the overcommitting, the overthinking. And it's like there is a way where we can do this, where we can take a step back and make sure our days are actually working for us and not against us, less overthinking, more living.
Wow, I love that, Christine. Thank you so much. You already gave us a lot in there. It's so much value. And I'm pretty sure that whoever listens to us or is watching us, they can take so much out from this particular episode because you are so open. And like you said, you experienced so much already and you've done it. So you know the struggles and now you're just striving, say, helping others do the same, which is brilliant. So let's go back into your marketing experience. Tell me more about that. What sort of mistakes you noticed and what sort of things doing? really good things happen in the marketing that actually you started implementing them in your own coaching business.
Yes. So I think as entrepreneurs, marketing specifically, I think we can kind of get like shiny object syndrome, right? Or you see people that are, 10 years into business and you're just starting out and you're seeing, okay, this person's got a podcast, a beautiful website, or they're on every social media platform, or, they're showing up and they're having these radio interviews or these TV segments. And you think you need to be everywhere, right? And you're doing all the things and you're kind of spinning and eventually you could burn out trying to do all the things. So I think it's really from a marketing perspective, you have to refine your messaging, make sure that your audience is super clear on what you're offering, right? Like you need to know that I am here to help moms who are entrepreneurs, who are trying to kind of get out of their heads, who are trying to make sure that their days are working for them. So make sure your messaging is super clear, because I've also made the mistake of I want to help everybody, right? So like narrowing down from there feels hard because it's like I want to be able to support you, but if the person that you want to help does not know that you are for them, right? That you are helping them, your net's kind of too wide, right? You're not really speaking to anyone, you're speaking to everyone. So narrowing down your messaging, really figuring out where your audience is, what platforms they are on, so that you can spend your time intentionally marketing and not, you know, going dizzy trying to keep up with the Joneses in the beginning.
Love it, love it, love it. Thank you so much. That's super,
Yeah.
super, super important. I love it. And I learned that the hard way as well.
Yes.
So, absolutely. You mentioned about overachieving, you mentioned about doing all those things, right?
Mhm.
What was your secret? How did you manage to calm down and
Yeah.
choose what's important to you and move forward without overachieving everything, overdoing everything?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think first of all, I had to fall flat on my face, right? I had to realize like I'm exhausted trying to do everything. And really what mattered to me, right? You hear a lot about your why when you're starting out in business. Like, what is the spark that motivated you? Why did you get started? And as I told you my story, my why was for myself and my son. And what ended up happening was I was not showing up at my best for myself or my son, right? I was agreeing to all these things and trying to push harder to do all these things. But then the time that I had for him, I'm still working or I'm still grinding, or my temperament wasn't where I wanted it to be. I was shorter. I didn't have the patience. I was like, okay, let me do this for you really quick. But now I need to get back into doing all these other things because I think I need to do them. Right. And so when I kind of took a step back and I'm like, okay, the whole reason I'm in this business to begin with is to be able to spend that time with him, because it does not come back. I don't get to see 5 years old again. I don't get to see 6 years old again with him, right? Like this is when I kind of had to have that aha moment and really start to look at my schedule. What am I committing to and why am I committing to it? Right? Is it really moving the needle in my business? Or am I just thinking that I need to do it because I'm seeing other people do that too?
That's so beautiful. And I'm so glad you had that aha moment because it's so important. What other aha moment
Yeah.
would you say you had that was super important for you when you made the shift and you made the change and everything changed in your life and in your business?
Yeah. So I think the biggest shift or the first aha moment, right, was going from doing marketing and operations tasks in other women's businesses to realizing that what I loved was coaching. So it was shifting into this new model, this one-on-one support, because I want you to find that balance in your business, right? Find that balance as a mama, find that balance as a woman, right? Because we are so often putting ourselves on the back burner of all the other things. So it was it was that big aha moment that not only did I have to rework my schedule so that I wasn't overachieving in many ways, but it was also how am I pouring into myself, right? That aha moment of like, you're truly no good to anybody else, right? Unless you put on your own oxygen mask first, fill up your cup first. You've heard all of the, the metaphors. And it's true. You're your tolerance level for everything else, right, kind of starts to go down if you're not prioritizing you. So it's finding what, for me, what I work with my clients on, right, is finding their non-negotiables. What does that look like for you? Something that's super important for me is movement. I work out, or I try to work out every day, or go for a walk or meditate or something, right? Because it's my mental health as much as it is my physical health. That's kind of how I decompress and de-stress. So it's, are you making that time for you, mama? Right? And if not, how can we change that? How can we get that into your days?
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's really, really amazing. What else would you say your clients are actually, you know, what do you think their aha moments are? Because I know you're working very deep and you go 100% in and you are super honest. And that's the reason why you have so much success because you are so real. And that's the reason why they love you. You have that pure energy, which you are all about getting them results. And
Right.
you are super straight to the point. Like, this is it.
Yeah.
This is not working. Why is not working? Let's see. This is
Right.
so tell us a bit, maybe you can share a story from your clients, or what would you say their aha moments are?
Sure. So there's a few, and I want to say most of the time, right, it is some sort of limiting belief that we don't know we have. And by that, I mean there is some sort of mindset, or there is something that we are not recognizing in ourselves. And whether that is that we feel we need to do everything for everyone else, right? Like as women, we can be very nurturing, we can be very supportive, and it can be to our detriment. Or we feel that because maybe we've tried something and we failed in the past, that it means it's just not working, right? When the reality is maybe there's a slight shift or a tweak, and that's the reason that just didn't connect in that moment. But failure is part of it, right? That's a lesson in growth. That's not the end. So it's really helping women see when they're kind of in their own way, right? And holding up that mirror. And one of my clients, when I was speaking to her, we actually had to talk about putting some boundaries in place with her husband, right? And it was because they both worked from home. She had these business tasks that needed to get done, and she was realizing like she felt like she was being a bad partner or something. If she said, no, I can't do this right now, or, kind of said, hey, I need a minute to finish these tasks and I can't jump in to help you with that in this moment. But your business also needs you too, right? So it's, hey, let's communicate about the fact that between these hours, you have certain tasks where you just cannot be interrupted. And then you can still show up for him later, right? There's no reason that doesn't make you a bad partner. That makes you a great partner because you are now doing what you have to accomplish for yourself. So you feel good. You can check that off the box. There's no resentment building because you didn't get that done. And then you can show up to support him, right? And then I had a different client who, to get a little bit emotional, like ended up in tears because she realized like the resentment was building, right? The exhaustion was there. She was doing all of these things, and there was literally no time on her calendar in her days where she was making herself a priority, right? Because if you are saying yes to everything, that is a no to something else. And typically that no is to something that matters to you. So it's holding up the mirror sometimes for people to see like, hey, here's how this is not serving you, but here's how we can fix it, right? We work through those steps together. Where do we put the boundaries in place? How do we rework the calendar? What are these things meaning on your calendar, right? Do these things actually matter to your business right now? Or is this something that we can move a week out, a couple days out, or delegate it? Maybe you don't even have to be the one doing that thing.
Hmm. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Kristen. Thank you. I can relate so much with your client stories and everything you are helping them with because those are real struggles. They are. So, what's your
Yeah.
perspective on what would you say for someone if they really, really want to find out what their desires are or what their needs are? Or you mentioned early on to really give yourself what you need, like put your
Yes.
oxygen mask first. So, what would you
Yes.
say would be the first few steps someone can do that in order to really understand what the heck do I want?
Well, first it's knowing yourself, right? Like what energizes you, right? What lights you up? What do you love? And then think about too, what trains you? Like, so do a brain dump, right? Think about all the things sitting in your head, personal, business, otherwise. Write it all down, look at your tasks and sit with them. What do I absolutely hate doing? What do I not cannot stand on this list? And how can I either take this off my list or prioritize this in a way where it's like, okay, you kind of eat the frog, right? This is the first thing I do, but then that is something I don't have to worry about anymore. But on that list, where are the things for you, right? Like I said, what are those things that light you up? What are your non-negotiables? What do you love, right? What is it? Reading a book, giving myself 20 minutes to read a book is what makes me feel good. Like, how do I incorporate that in my days? And sometimes because we are so busy doing all the things, we're not really thinking about what is most impactful for us. Like, do you know what lights you up in your days, Roxandra? Like, do you have non-negotiables? Do you have something where you're like, okay, this is for me and just me? Because as a mama, I'm so busy, right? As a business owner, you're helping so many and you're so busy. Like, how did you decide what you need to do to make sure you're putting yourself first?
Yeah, thank you for asking. Actually, I have
Yeah.
an answer for that. And it took me long time to get that, to be honest, because me prioritizing me, I thought it's
Yep.
something, very selfish. And this was back in the day, a few years back when I was in a
Mhm.
really horrible burnout. And now I realize I can actually have different needs every
Yes.
single month, every single week, every single day if I want to, especially
Yep.
once I have the second child. Is different from what I thought my needs were when I only had my toddler, right? So
Right.
I know that, like you said early on, with my energy, I really make sure I do everything that energizes me early in the morning when I'm very productive.
Mhm.
And then when my energy drains later on in the afternoon, I will do something more like not so important task, or I will just delegate them and I will just,
Right.
yeah. So this is what works for me.
I
Absolutely.
love
Thank you for asking. So,
that.
what else would you say, Kristen? What else would you say that's super important? Let's talk about business now, because I see this so often. I see entrepreneurs really, really coping everything, trying to figure it out, what's going to work for them. And like you said early on, comparing and thinking they need to be everywhere.
Mhm.
But actually, all they are doing, they are just creating a mini franchise. They are literally working on someone else's dream and with their strategies. And this is when they feel horrible. And this is when they are
Yes.
exhausted. And this is when the pleasure is not there anymore. So,
Yeah.
what would you say to those people? How can they step in and be themselves and really understand who they are in business and what sort of business model they want?
Yes. So this is one of those moments where you have to take a minute, right? And you have to sit with it. You have to figure out, like, what am I going to offer? Am I a done for you service provider? Is coaching the thing that lights me up? Am I providing digital products? Like, what am I doing and why am I doing it? What is the goal behind it, right? Who are the people I am trying to reach and where are those people, right? Like, am I talking to moms on Facebook or in the Peanut app? I don't know if you guys have that, but it's a way to connect moms, right?
Yeah,
Where are your folks? How are you helping them? Like, what is it that is lighting you up that you're going to do, right? Start there. Make sure you know your niche, make sure you know your audience, and make sure it feels right. Because otherwise, yes, you are going to continue to just try to do all the things and try to reach, you're casting this wide net, right? That isn't necessarily talking to what you are going to do and how you are going to help them and how you're going to support them. So know your services, know your products, know how you're going to connect with people, and then start making connections, right? Connections, because we are in this to help people, to serve people. Like, that is what makes selling feel scary for people, right? Or people can make it could feel icky. It's like, I don't want to just tell you about this thing I'm doing. But at the end of the day, you're doing yourself a disservice because what you're selling, what you're doing is going to serve somebody. It's going to help somebody, right? Change that lens. Think of it, how are you helping somebody with what you're doing? And that makes selling feel way less icky, and it's going to allow yourself to just get out there and be you and be authentic and start having those conversations.
absolutely. I love it. High five to that. Woo!
Yeah.
We are definitely on the same page. I remember I spoke with you, wow, was it back in January, like, hold on, 5 months ago.
Yeah.
So I remember when I was so excited to find someone working with moms, working, with female entrepreneurs. And I
Mhm.
remember when I asked you, you don't see us as competition. And you're like,
Yeah.
no. And I'm like, I don't neither. I'm so happy. We are aligned. We're gonna do magical
Yes.
things together. Tell me more
Yes.
about that. Tell me more about that particular thing. How come you don't see someone as competition, even if they do similar things that you do?
Yeah. No, to me, I am all about, I think community builds, right? I think collaboration over competition, right? We are here to support each other because the way that I do something, right, might not be exactly the way you do something. And what matters is the transformation, right? And how we get somebody there is going to differ. And that is so unique. And that is going to click with somebody else in a way that maybe I don't click with somebody, right? So you have to find the coach, you have to find the business that supports you. And if we can just help each other, that's everything to me, right? It's how can I make sure that you're getting what you need? And oh, I have the right person for you. And now you're building relationships, you're building referral partners. Hey, the way Kristen works, this is going to be such a good fit, or the way that, Roxandra works, like this is going to be an even better fit. It's now you're allowing your business to grow by word of mouth, right? By making sure that you've got somebody in your corner that knows what you do, that sees you and can support you.
I absolutely love it. And I have to say, that's the reason why you are a successful business owner. And that's the reason why you can scale so easily because we go back to sales as well. And you don't really have to sell. Like I'm telling that to my clients as well. Once you're true to who you are and
Yep.
once you're sure what can you offer, what your value is and how you can bring value in their life, then it's
Yep.
just a case of them asking, how can we work together? And you don't even need to preach like, oh, do that sales page. I haven't done that in years, honestly. And like you said,
Yeah.
referrals, collaborations, it's amazing. I do more about business strategy because I've been in business for 17 years now. So I
Yep.
find it super easy to find the potential in, each business. And then I'm like, okay, we can scale it that way. Let's go from 5 figures to 6 figures. Let's have that multimillionaire mindset. This is something
Right.
I'm really good with. And some women sometimes they're a bit scared. They say they want to be a millionaire, for example. And then when we
Mhm.
dive in, okay, tell me how a day in your life will look like or
Right.
what those money means to you, right?
Right.
And they don't have the answers. Did you
Mm.
ever come across that?
Hmm. Yes, I think that kind of goes back to that like limiting belief, right? That we have to address
Mm.
in coaching. It's kind of like you want this thing, but you have to see yourself getting there because how can we build it, right? How do we create the roadmap for you to get from A to Z? So, absolutely. But that is what a beautiful coach does, right? They help you get out of your own way and see the possibilities so that you can make it a reality.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's exactly what we're doing. And I think the biggest thing and the biggest gift maybe we have as coaches is that we believe in them more than they believe in themselves. And for
Yes.
us believing in them, we just give them that wings and they can just start flying because we definitely hold hands together. So
Exactly.
that's probably the part I love the most in my business as well. Now,
Awesome.
let's go back to your business. So I know you do one-to-one coaching. Tell us a little bit about that. And if someone wants to get in touch with you, I will put all your social medias, that's for sure. And
Okay.
also you have a freebie. Tell us
Yes.
more about that. If you can share that with us, that would be fantastic.
Absolutely. So my freebie is called Boundaries for Balance, right? Because back to what I said in the beginning, half the time we don't maybe recognize where we need them, or if we have them, maybe we need to go back and enhance them a little bit or reconsider how we're structuring our days and stop saying yes to everything because boundaries are what are going to allow us to move through our days more easily. So I will share the Boundaries and Balance freebie. That's going to help you really there's a simple 3-step exercise in there for you to walk through and maybe identify where you need to hold boundaries a little stronger or maybe where they're lacking in general, just so your days flow easier, right? Because that's what this is about. It's about having those aligned days where you are not showing up spinning and you can just move through them. We want them to feel easy. We want them to feel joyful, right? And so in my one-on-one coaching, I have a framework that I work through with the ladies, but for the most part, it's about the transformation of moving out of overwhelm or burnout or overthinking and moving into living. How am I showing up in my days? How am I showing up for myself? How am I showing up for my kids and my business? And so we really look at your limiting beliefs, whether you're in tune with them right now or not, because that's what I'm here for, right? I'm that mirror to kind of help you see where maybe you're getting in your own way and how we move past that and create some tools and practices that serve you in that. Identify your non-negotiables, right? So that you are showing up for you, mama. You are not just showing up for everybody else because it has to start with you. And we can often lose ourselves in doing everything, right? And then we create an aligned calendar. That's where we do an audit. We create your business blocks. We look at your personal blocks. We make sure there's white space in there because I'm a big proponent of scheduling white space because to me, those breaks are essential. Yeah, essential. Wish I could
Yeah.
speak, but it
They
helps us stress, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. When I hear you talking, I have to say I'm so grateful that you exist, and I'm just so grateful for whoever comes and steps into your world because it sounds to me that you take that pressure off. Like literally, this is what you do. You take that all overwhelm, burnout, because sometimes we don't even know to identify those. Maybe we don't even know how to
Mm.
name those things. We know we feel exhausted, we know we feel unhappy, we know we
Yes.
feel tired, and
Yeah.
we have lots of pressure and lots of
Yeah.
stress. And this is it. And then you come in, and I'm like, okay, you don't need to know it. I'm just going to layer after layer after layer, and let's get some magic and let's take the pressure off. So
Yeah,
fun.
exactly. Yeah. And it depends on what it is too. Some people are just spinning with their to-do list, right? But some people are maybe caught up in team. Maybe the team's not operating as you need them to. And it's okay. Well, let's sit with that and figure out what that is, right? What's holding up the wheel from being fully in motion? Is it a leadership thing? Is it a communication thing? Is it an SOP thing? Do we need to have more guidance, more training? We work so closely together to make sure that your business is moving as you need it to move.
That's fantastic. And before I let you go, Kristen, I have a personal story. I'm just super curious. If it's too much, you can say, no, I don't want to answer it. But I think you can answer it. But I'm just super
Yeah, go
curious
girl. Yep.
how your journey of being a single mom
Mhm.
really changed the way you saw the world and how that actually changed you in your life and everything else that you did before being a single mom.
You know, becoming a single parent changed so much. And I would not trade the hard moments for anything because you know what it did? And it's not unlike business and it's not unlike being a parent, period, right? Like it can be hard, it can be challenging, but it creates this resilience in you and you realize how much you are capable of and you realize how much you love this little person in your life, right? And you would do anything for them and you want to be the best version of yourself for them, right? You want to be able to show up and have them never question how much you love them or show them, how you can get frustrated with things, but then you find a way to figure it out. You want to lead by example. You want to model the best version of you for them. So really when it became him and I, it was this moment of like, how do I step into the person that I would be proud of, right? That I would make him proud.
Mm. Wow, that's like, wow, extraordinary. Thank you so much. Thank you for being open. I knew you're not gonna say no to it, but I was like, okay, let's just try and
Yeah,
see
shoot.
how.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now I have one more question for you before I let you go.
Sure.
What be you means to you?
What does what mean to me?
Be you, the name
Oh,
of the
be you.
podcast. Hmm.
Yeah. Oh, I love that question. Okay. So to me, that's showing up like as your most authentic self, right? Where you can ask me the hard questions and I'm not thinking twice about it because I am just being me. I'm not overthinking my responses. I'm not worried about the answer. I am just able to show up as I am and enjoy this beautiful conversation with you and just feel completely at ease with myself.
Thank you so. Actually, I have one more question. I promise. I'll let you go after this one.
You're
Kristen,
good. You're good.
w-
Yeah.
one message for the younger self? what would you tell your teenager years or whenever
Mm.
you felt like it was a tough moment in your life? What would you tell her?
So, believe it or not, I am somebody that used to struggle so much with anxiety, right? Like that overachieving, like I wanted to be perfect in everything I did. It was very like self-critical. It the person that I am today is light years from the person that I used to be. And it would just be this, you are you are so capable of so much and like just keep going, right? Like you have no idea how good it can get or how much better it can get. And like you are not defined by who you think you are, right? I think that's one of the coolest lessons that I've learned is like you people like to put you in a little box of like who they think you are and like they don't necessarily know your story or what you've overcome or what it took you to get to A to Z or to find your peace. And it's like you don't have to fit into a box, right? You can be so many different things and have so many different beautiful parts. And it's just keep going, find who you are, find what lights you up, and just watch the transformation happen.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you ever so much. It was a pleasure to have you. I love everything about you. As I said at the beginning of the podcast, now, everyone, please go send butterflies to Christian. So then she knows you're coming from Supermom's Magic Circle and she has
Bye.
amazing, amazing discounts for you and she can really,
Yes.
really open her arms for you. So please go check her. She has a website as well. I will put all the links here, lovely, so they can just be a click away from you. And it was a pleasure to have you on board. Thank you for saying yes to be your podcast and thank you for sharing the real you and your expertise and everything.
Thank you so much for having me. It is always so lovely talking to you. Thank you. Thank you.
You, thank you, thank you. This was all from today, ladies. If you really want that business clarity coaching session for free, send me that fire and then we can start working together. Remember, keep on shining, keep on smiling, and be you. That's
Yeah.
it. It's simple. Just be yourself. This is all from today. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.